blessing it is to be here together. And so glad that you can join us for a grand opening. What a blessing that it is. And, you know, this day is a product of a lot of work, a lot of prayer, and a lot of waiting. But praise be to God, we're here. There's been a lot of work that's been going on since we came here to work on little things here and there. And obviously we're still working on a few things. And so appreciate your patience. And if you're here visiting with us, thank you for coming. You are a guest. And we have a lunch today. And can you please turn this down? Here? It's right in my ears. And stay for our lunch today. We'll be so glad that you'll be here. And it's such a great blessing. So please join us. Hey, Matt, can you just turn this down, please? Here. Just a little bit. So we're going to be in Hosea today. If you want to turn your Bibles to Hosea, we're going to look at a few passages there as we continue on. And as we continue to learn more as much as we can in the Old Testament. Now we start our growth groups next week, which is our small home Bible studies. And so you're welcome to join that. We kick that off next Sunday night. We'll come here and we'll just be together. And then the Sunday after that, we start in the homes. We have 3 small groups that meet in the homes. And then we have 1 that meets here at the building. So please, you're welcome to come and just fellowship with us. It's a great way to have good spiritual conversations. And it's a great blessing. So thank you. A wounded relationship. A wounded relationship. That's the topic for today's lesson. I like that picture. We're going to watch a video in a little bit. We're going to watch a video in just a little bit. And that video is where this picture is taken from. It's going to help demonstrate this idea. Can you please turn it down a little bit more? You know, when you hear yourself so much, it's hard to concentrate, especially if it's like a little bit behind. I saw a video one time of people listening to themselves with a little lag time. It's impossible to talk after a little while. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's really funny. I'll show it to you one Sunday. I'll show it to you. So you understand what I'm going through a little bit. And so this story of Hosea is strong. It's powerful. I was thinking about what can I talk about for a grand opening? And of course I had like 5 different ideas of different things to talk about. And this one epitomizes it for me. About a message I would want to tell you if you're visiting here with us, to let you know what we're about. And it's about what a great God we have. It's about a relationship with a being that is perfect, although we are not perfect. In this relationship, like a marriage relationship in a lot of ways, is our relationship with God. For all of us that choose to follow God, to make Him our God, we get baptized and decide to be mated with Him in a way. And He gives us His Holy Spirit. But it's difficult at times. So I want to talk about the story of Hosea for a little while. God wanted us to know what it was like to have us as His people. Because imagine He just gets fed up. Time again, we see how the Israelites leave Him. Israelites, they stay with Him. They say, we love you so much, God. And then their focus gets off of God. And they get doing what they want. They give over to their pleasures. God rebukes them. Maybe even send them in some kind of banishment to Babylon or another place and say, okay, you're ready to come back. And finally, God said, okay, I want to give you an example how my relationship is with you. And so He gave us this idea of Hosea. I appreciate this being read. I'm going to read it, part of it again. Hosea 1, verses 2 and 3. When the Lord began to speak through Hosea, the Lord said to him, go, marry a promiscuous woman and have children with her. For like an adulterous wife, this land is guilty of unfaithfulness to the Lord. So he married Gomer, daughter of Diblaim, and she conceived and bore him a son. It's not the advice that I would give to my son. Okay? Son, I want you to marry a promiscuous woman who you will never know where she's at in the evenings. You have no idea what's going on in her mind, and she completely does not respect you at all. That's what I want for you. Now, can you imagine Hosea? God is speaking this to Hosea, and Hosea is probably going, "Come again?" Lord, sometimes when you talk to me, it just doesn't come in really clear. Yes, I want you to marry a promiscuous woman. And Gomer, she left him. And here in chapter 3, the Lord said to me, "Go show your love to your wife again, though she is loved by another man and is an adulteress. Love her as the Lord loves the Israelites, though they turn to other gods and love the sacred raisin cakes." So I bought her for 15 shekels of silver and about a homer and lethek of barley. Then I told her, "You are to live with me many days. You must not be a prostitute or be intimate with any man, and I will behave the same way towards you." It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult, this story of Hosea, that God would ask someone who's dedicated his life to him to do this. So God had Hosea to choose an immoral woman. There's so much we can talk about this story, but I'm going to hit on some of the major points because we just don't have time. Because how do we know how Hosea chose this woman? When God said, "I want you to choose an immoral woman," he thought, "Gomer. That's the one I want. That's actually the one I've been thinking about." I don't know. But Gomer did not show gratitude or respect to Hosea. You can only imagine the conversations they had at night or during the day. It's like, "Gomer?" And you don't find a lot of people that name their daughters Gomer. Maybe because of this, I don't know. It's like, "Gomer, don't you know I'm good to you? Why do you keep stepping out on me?" It must have been such a hard relationship. But God had Hosea to choose an immoral woman twice. Twice. Have you been in a conversation with somebody, maybe in a relationship, and the person was unfaithful to them? Maybe living with somebody else. What do you say? "You deserve so much better than that." Well, good riddance. Finally, they're out of your life. How many times do you say, "Go buy that person back"? Go and do what you can to bring them back into your life. And you say, "But my life was miserable with them." I know. But just go get them back. Don't you want some more of that? Obviously, God really wanted to make a strong point here. I imagine Hosea had lost a lot of sleepless nights thinking about his wife, wondering where she was. Why is she doing the things that she's doing? Can you think about what God thinks about us? And we're going to think about that here in just a little bit. Now, the parts in this story are pretty obvious, but I want to go ahead and say them anyways. God is the faithful husband, like Hosea, all right? And, he's a great leading person. He took the lead in that. He's very forgiving of her, and he's very sacrificing. Don't you think he gave the most for the relationship? I think so. I imagine there was times that he went to the church service there on Saturday, and Gomer wasn't there. Had to be embarrassing, don't you think? And we are the unfaithful wife in this scenario. You and me are. We're unworthy, we're unfaithful, and just downright bad compared to the husband, compared to God. We're bad. It's completely not worthy. So why does she do this? And when I talk about why she's doing things, I'm talking about and explaining why do we do things? Why do we do these things? She may be thinking, I just don't know any better. It's the way my parents were. It's the way I was brought up. And finally, he doesn't mind. I've heard all these things about people in their relationship with God. Why they left God, why they do the things and how they treat God. It's like, hey, it's all I know. God doesn't mind. He's always there for me. He'll keep buying me back. So I want us to think about that, okay? So let's start with a video here to help give us a good idea of how this is. Let's watch this video.
your eyes and think that's the money it's mine. I'm allowed. That's not allowed because that is who I am. I'm your husband. I'm your man. You talk to me. You think of me. And if you could feel those words in the way right now, you wouldn't question whether I'm capable of loving you or not. You love me that much.
Isn't that a strong video? It's a good way, it helps me to visualize this story of Hosea. Helps me to think about, how does God see me? It's got to be so hard for God. He does so much for us. And yet, we don't give him what he deserves. So what's our problem? I imagine the wedding day went great. Even though she came from a bad background. But the problem is with the commitment. And maybe you've had that issue in your life, in your relationship with God. The baptism, the time you came to God was fantastic. You were on cloud 9. But the problem is the commitment. Which you feel like the sacrifices you need to make. Well, I have better social aspects other places. I'm going to lose friends if I stay with God. And for sure, it's going to cost you things in life. Because obviously for this woman in this video, the marriage wasn't enough. She says, I want more. You're a good husband to me. You give me everything I need, but I want more. And don't you think that's what God sees from us? Whenever, and you know, all of us play this role. None of us are perfect. We all make these mistakes and choose to give over to our desires, our sensations instead of God. And really what we're saying to God is, God, you're good, you're such a blessing to me, but I just want more. I'm just left lacking in this relationship, God. You're just not enough for me. Now, when you watch that video, you see how that is, and you get angry, don't you? It's like, why is she treating him so bad? And if you could look at us from the side, I think you'd say the same thing. Why are you treating God so bad? And you could tell she was just riddled with guilt for being a bad wife to such a good husband. And she couldn't understand how someone could love her. Have you had that in your relationship with God? It's like, God, why? How can you love me? I'm just so guilty. It's hard for me even to talk with you, God, because I don't deserve you. I love his response there. It's my love. I can do with it what I want. And God says that to you. Maybe the guilt's in your way. God says, just accept my love. I love you. Especially in those times that we're crying because we understand our shortcomings. He loves us especially then. Because then finally he looks at us and says, finally, they get it. They get who I am, the comparison. Maybe they'll appreciate me now. And so how can the husband and God still love and forgive? Hosea 2:23 says, I will also have compassion on her who had not obtained compassion. And I would say to those who are not my people, you are my people. And they will say, you are my God. Romans 9:25 and 26. And as he says also in Hosea, I will call those who are not my people, and her who was not beloved, beloved. And it shall be that in the place where it was said to them, you are not my people. There they shall be called sons of the living God. This is true Old Testament, New Testament. All of us at some point were not of God's people. And we didn't have a good God. And God had compassion on us and says, I'll be your God. I know you bring nothing to the table. I don't need anything from me. But because I'm good, I want to help you. I want your life to be good. Therefore, I come into your life. I want to bless you. You notice that point where she was trying to give the ring back and he wouldn't take it back? Now, she could have thrown it away. But God's not going to take it back. He's like, I'm in this relationship to the end. I'm not going to leave you. You may leave me, but I am never going to leave you. I am never going to leave you. I just want you to stay here. Stay here with me. Now, it's a good thing I like to drink coffee, actually. And so maybe if you want to go get some coffee, I'll be happy to drink some coffee with you. I'll even drink 2 cups. God is always reaching out to you. He's always wanting you to come. And don't you think, if you could see God's love, if you could actually see God's love for you, how much He loves you, wouldn't you say, wow, I can't imagine how much you love me. I haven't fooled you, God. I haven't made you think that I'm something that I'm not. You love me as I am. And I want you to know that God loves you as you are. You know, we all come to church and to God, not once we get our lives together, but we come in order to get our lives together. We're all sinners. We all play the part of the promiscuous mate to God. But this is a place where we try and we encourage one another to live the good life. We hold each other accountable. And we love each other through this life. Isn't that what we need? So I don't know where you are in your life. Maybe you've left God. And maybe you've come here, or maybe you've been coming here for a while. And you haven't really made that decision to really come to God again. Or maybe you've never come to God. You've never made that decision to get baptized, like it says in Galatians 3:27. For all of you that have been baptized into Christ have been clothed with Christ. Until you get baptized, then you're not clothed with Christ. I'd love to talk to you, with you about that. So where are you in your life? If I just met you today, if this is your first time coming, I look forward to getting to know you better. Hopefully you keep coming and join our family one day. We love you so much. Please come forward as we sing this song.